Hello everybody, what is up, Prof here? And no, we're not unboxing a pair of Crocs, we're actually going over a bunch of the old Dragon Ball Z figures from the 90s and early 2000s that I happened to find in my closet the other day. So, funny story is I actually got some Dragon Ball Z Crocs for Christmas, but I kept the box just because I thought it looked really cool. And I thought, oh, maybe I could put some figures later on if I find them. And I found a good chunk. Granted, this isn't my whole collection I used to have, but it's a good little pile of my old ones that I used to have from back in the day. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead, open it up, and I'll show you guys all the figures I still got from basically 90s and early 2000s. So let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, so here we are with our box right here. Like I said, this is definitely a pretty cool little Crocs box. And one of the reasons I also like this, because on the inside, as you can see, we got all of our classic figures right there, but that is a really cool Dragon Ball design on the inside. So I just kind of wanted to keep the box, and I'm glad I did, because ended up having a pretty cool purpose. So, like I said, this is a collection of figures from kind of all different makers. So this one had like some of the Japanese ones, some of the ones that were like, basically they add a lot of cool paint details, some where they didn't add as much paint details. So, like I said, with the Japanese ones, so these are the first figures they were bringing over to America back when Dragon Ball Z first came out, and these were actually just the Japanese ones, but repackaged in American packaging. So we were getting like this metallic haired gold Vegeta and stuff before we even knew what a Super Saiyan was. But back in the day, I was like, yeah, this is badass. I love this. So yeah, this one's pretty cool. And then yeah, not a super large amount of posability. We got the feet, the hands kind of twist, and then yeah, the head doesn't move. But then of course we had removable armor like that. So definitely super cool. So I'm just gonna be setting these off to the side as I go through them. Like I said, of course, we had a regular Super Saiyan Goku right here. Like I said, this one didn't have a super large amount of detail to the painting, but all in all, definitely pretty cool. But yeah, another one that did have some cool details is, I have two different variants of this one, but this one's the one that actually had like a cool metallic paint to the hair. And of course, we had some battle damage to the armor. And even the face is honestly fairly detailed. Like, it's crazy seeing like the figures that come out nowadays. Like the Dragon Stars ones are cool because they're pretty posable, but I still feel like some of these had like a lot more detail put in back in the day. And these were only like, what, $10 to $13 maybe back in the day? I think it was pretty much around that price range, but these are also super cool. And like I said, this one actually had posability in the knees, the arms kind of went up and down to the side. The heads moved and everything, so they had decent like posability, and if you're gonna be making them fight as a kid and all that, so definitely super cool. This is one where they got really artistic with it, like they added some really cool details. It's Super Saiyan Adult Gohan, but if it wants to focus here, as you can see, they put a lot of details into the painting, like his muscle area, even the hair had like this bit of paint like that just added so much more detail to it. Like, so that's why I'm surprised with some of these figures. Like, they had some really cool detail for how old they are. And of course, yeah, these ones have the knees, the arms that go around, the heads that kind of move and everything. So definitely pretty cool. Then of course we got our normal Vegeta right here. These were basically when they started doing more of the American style figures, I believe. But yeah, of course, then we got ourselves a Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. This is another cool one. I think I got two different variants of it. I gotta find the other one, but these are super cool. I got one, if I can find it. Oh yeah, this is another one that came out back in the day, way before Buu Saga. This is basically when the Namek Saga was still happening, but all of a sudden we had a Super Saiyan Gotenks right here. So it was very interesting to have this. I didn't know who it was, but I was like, hey, this is cool. He has yellow hair, so I just got it as a kid. But yeah, all in all, pretty cool. And then I actually got a bunch of these old medallions they used to give out with a certain variation of the figures. So yeah, as you can see, I got a pretty good amount. And then yeah, they also used to give you these little Dragon Balls that come in, so you can kind of collect all the different Dragon Balls. But yeah, as you see, we got some from like the fight with Cell. We got what looks like from the Garlic Jr. Saga. Actually, I got two of them from the same one, but yeah, sometimes you get two of the same ones. But we got Berter and Jace. I think during the android fight with Gohan and Piccolo. Goku when he came back from Yardrat. Bulma when she's discovering Cell's little pod from the future. Cell versus Goku right here. Vegeta in the little healing tank. Another one of Garlic Jr. right here if it wants to focus. There we go. And then of course the normal Goku looks like probably when he was fighting the Saiyans, or Vegeta and Nappa when he first came back to Earth. But yeah, all in all, definitely pretty cool. Like, I'm surprised I still have so many of these, honestly. But yeah, so another cool one I have is, this was one I think I might have gotten at Target back in the day. But these lines, so basically it came with a base that made sounds, but it had these two metal things and it would basically magnetically hold on to the feet. And then basically when you put him on and press the button, it would make the Super Saiyan noises. And you could sit there and pose him like that, and all the hair in his upper body would be glowing. So these are some pretty cool toys back in the day. I gotta see if at some point I can find what batteries this one takes and see if I can get it working. But also I think the legs kind of warped, so I gotta see if this was even the right stand, because I had two different ones of these, so I don't even know if this is the stand that went with it. But of course then we got ourselves a Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Yeah, this was one of the ones that I think came out later in the 2000s. But yeah, definitely was super cool because I was pretty hyped to get anything that was Super Saiyan 3 back then. But yeah, I think this one had the normal movable legs, the arms that went up and down. His head, I don't think really moved too much just because of how big his hair is. Yeah, and of course, we got ourselves a Cell. Like I said, this is another cool one where they had some cool artistic takes on these. So, like I said, a lot of these figures were actually really detailed back in the day for how little they cost, because yeah, they're like between $10 to $13 depending, and most of the time, yeah, they weren't too expensive, but yeah, these definitely are super cool looking. I'm definitely glad I found these. Another one I got is, of course, Goku's dad back in the day. This one wasn't too far off from the figures when they first were releasing them, because Bardock was kind of mentioned during the Namek saga, so definitely wasn't too surprising to see it, but it was pretty cool. I didn't even know who it was back when I got it, but kind of looked like Goku, so I took it. And of course, this is a cool, interesting ones I got. I don't know if these were misprints or not, but I got these two variations of Trunks, or future Trunks. So one had the regular purple hair, and this one had like a gold, or a dark gold metallic paint to it. So I don't know if this is just a special version of the figure, or if it was a misprint. I think as a kid I just thought it was a misprint, but I'm pretty sure they put out these different variants, because I got a Vegeta that has gold hair as well. But yeah, speaking of Trunks, this is probably one of the cooler ones I got, is this Super Saiyan Trunks right here with his long hair. This is a really cool figure because they had some like pretty nice details for it. Like I said, all in all, he definitely looks super cool. I actually really like this one a lot. And of course, we got ourselves a Super Saiyan Goten right here. This is another cool one where they did the stuff where they added a lot of the cool details to him. Even if you get a close-up of his face, like you can see like his face actually has a lot of detail. And I'm honestly surprised for this, because these were just basic figures back then. These are like, you could find these on average maybe on sale for $10, $12. But yeah, these had a good amount of detail for, you know, how long ago it was. But I think this is also at the very peak hype of Dragon Ball Z too. And of course I got this Goku with the angel wings and the halo, which now his different because Akira Toriyama passed away, but definitely a super cool one. I forgot when exactly I got this, but yeah, I think I just grabbed it right away because I was always trying to get any new Dragon Ball figure I could. And this is another one I actually had when I was a little kid. I think I ended up rebuying it, but yeah, this is one I got from back then because it looked really cool as a Super Saiyan 3 Goku with the halo when he died and everything. And yeah, back then, barely even knew what a Super Saiyan 1 was, let alone Super Saiyan 3, which you didn't even see till the Buu saga, so I would have been... I got this in, I want to say middle school, and it wasn't until like high school that I even saw the Buu saga when it came on TV, so like I said, this is way ahead of time, but I remember I used to tie this on a string and hang it from the ceiling and have him basically fly around with his arms out like that and stuff. So it's definitely pretty cool. And I think I remember as a kid, for whatever reason, I sit there cut the halo off because I didn't like the halo on him. But yeah, that's why I think I ended up rebuying him when I spotted him at a later point. I forgot when, but definitely super cool. And as I was mentioning before with the weird gold hair variants, this is the other Vegeta I got that has like the dark gold metallic paint to him. So he's definitely super cool. Like I said, I was definitely glad I found all these ones. But yeah, I remember grabbing on any of these whenever I saw them just because it was so weird. I was like, these have to be a printing mistake. I got a rare one. That's what I was thinking at least. But yeah, I gotta go look that up apparently. But yeah, of course, we got our Majin Buu when he absorbed Gohan and everything. So it's another pretty cool. And yeah, this is one that had like a lot of the residue on it, so I had to clean them off with some rubbing alcohol. But all in all, definitely pretty cool. Like not a super big amount of posability. Basically this one is like his legs can kind of move, his arms have the normal range, and of course his head moved around. But yeah, all in all, super cool. And of course right here we got a Kid Goku. This is one that I was actually happy to find when I was younger because you don't really see many like OG Dragon Ball type of stuff. But yeah, he got his tail, his little thing. I see the color is kind of degraded over the years, but oh no, definitely a pretty cool one. And of course, we got, was it Gogeta right here. So definitely pretty cool. Like I say, yeah, this one actually has a decent amount of posability. You got his arms that move, his legs that do the normal thing, and I think the head actually goes up and down too, and side to side. So it's got a little bit more posability to it, but definitely super cool. I feel like I used to have a Super Saiyan version, but I don't know what happened to it. But of course right here we got, this is Kid Trunks, but one of the ones that they basically just put out back in the early days because they're like, whatever, anything Dragon Ball, just push the figures out. And so yeah, I had Kid Trunks way before Trunks was even a thing in Dragon Ball Z, so definitely pretty cool. And of course we have another Majin Buu. This is him in his more adult form right here. Yeah, this was another cool one. Yeah, he had the normal posability, no movable legs, but the waist would move too, so definitely pretty cool. And that's another one of my favorite ones that I got right here is the Super Saiyan, the other variant I got of the Super Saiyan Goku in the Saiyan armor. Because if you look right here, you have these cool like red lines in the hair. I don't know if it was supposed to be blood or what, but it definitely just looks super cool. And I just love how freaking detailed these were back in the day. Let's see if you can get a close-up view of his face, but yeah, even the face had a pretty good amount of detail to it. So that's why I love some of these older ones. This was definitely when I was in middle school when I got this. I think it was with Boys and Girls Club. We went to the mall one time and I had a little bit of money, so I grabbed this because it just looks so freaking cool. And of course we got ourselves, I think we're on the same line, but the Vegeta when he died, and he has the same kind of thing. They put some extra detail with the red in the hair. Of course he got his halo. Halo's warped a little bit just because of, you know, being in a bag for so long. But yeah, these were super cool ones they had back in the day. Even like the hands had a bit of shading to them. And of course, I also got Super Saiyan Kid Trunks. Like I said, this is another one where they really went full detail just on the face. And of course, you got the hair that has nice detail, but like I said, a lot of these older ones, super nice looking. So like I said, I was definitely pretty happy that I found these. And of course, we got ourselves a Super Saiyan Teen Gohan, but in his father's uniform. And I can't remember, I think I had a version of this, but he was in the regular one, Piccolo's clothing. But I think for whatever dumb reason as a kid, I tried to cut off the shoulder pads just because I wanted him without it, but they didn't come off. But yeah, this is the other variant I had of it. But yeah, super cool. Like I said, I forgot when I got this one, but I feel like it was later on in the different toy lines that they had. And of course we got another Goku variant right here. So this one he had kind of like his little pose, so you can kind of try to pose him. Basically, yeah, he had the normal leg movement, arm movement from side to side, and of course the head. But yeah, all in all, yeah, he didn't have any symbol back here. But definitely pretty cool. And of course we have a non-Super Saiyan Gotenks right here. This another one, yeah, it was a different kind of art style, but all in all, still looks pretty good. Like I said, still has some nice shading to the muscles. The hair looks pretty nice, so yeah, definitely pretty cool. And I think this is our last one right here. It's another version of Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. This one is definitely more detailed than the other one, because I can see just from the hair side to side, you can see definitely this one's just more rounded, while this one's like metallic and a little bit more spiky. Of course, like the face looks pretty cool. And yeah, so this one, I believe, yeah, his hips move around, the legs do, the arms and the head. But yeah, you can see we have so many different variants and different variant details, because you can see just from the face and the muscles, like this one looks more wider face, less detail, just regular paint. This one, the body's more trimmed down and actually has a lot more this detail to the face. So it's definitely pretty cool back then seeing how many different versions and how many different art styles they kind of would take with these toys. Oh yeah, another one I totally forgot I actually had. This is for, got this one for my nephew, but this is from the current Dragon Stars line Goku. But if you look, see, like, has a pretty good amount of detail. You get extra hands, you get fairly good posability, but then compared that to like this line, if it wants to focus in, like you see just like the difference in art style that they had. Where this one, like, it looks pretty good, good posability, but then kind of a little bit less details on the face. Like I said, it's definitely pretty interesting because, yeah, we had lines in the 90s where some of them were painted really well, some of them weren't, but it's just crazy that we actually had a line like this where it was super detailed, super painted well. It's just crazy. Then, yeah, nowadays, these ones, I think I got it, yeah, it was $15. I found over at, like, Burlington Coat Factory back, I think, in December. But yeah, it's definitely pretty cool seeing, like, even now after all these years, we still got new Dragon Ball figures coming out. Alright folks, that's about it for this video. Like I said, it was definitely pretty cool getting to go down kind of memory lane with all these old Dragon Ball Z figures and everything. And definitely, like I said, super cool to see like the variants that they had, like ones that were really super detailed, some that had metallic hair, and even kind of comparing it to like the Dragon Stars figures we got nowadays and everything compared to like the one random line where they just went crazy with the shadowing and the painting and the face sculpting and everything. So definitely super cool. But like I said, if you did like this video, maybe hit that like button and also comment down below what your kind of favorite line of the Dragon Ball Z figures, whether it's the current line, whether it's something from back in like early 2000s or 90s. But all in all, if you guys are new here, also consider subscribing to the channel. But I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.